It is 6:30, Monday, August 25th, 2025. We'll call this city council meeting to order. If you could join me with the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And do we have any additions to the agenda tonight?
I don't have any additions tonight, Mayor.
Hearing none, I'll look for a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Motion.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion, a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. That will take us to public comments. If there's anyone who would like to discuss anything that is not on the agenda, please come forward. Seeing none, we'll close public comments. We'll move to consent agenda. Is there anything on the consent agenda that needs to be pulled for further discussion? Hearing none, I'll look for a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion, a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. With that, it will take us to business item number 10. Consider approval of special event license for Knuckleheads for September 26, 2025 Panty Run event.
Thank you, Mayor. As the title suggests, Knuckleheads will be having their annual Panty Run event on September 26, 2025. And as part of that, what they would like to do, which is part of the special event license they're applying for, is to fence off the back area up to abutting the alley, and then put a tent back there, play some games, and also allow the consumption of alcohol in that space. So with that,
Do they have a time on it that they are
Six.
looking to do?
6 to 9 p.m.
6 till 9? Okay. So it certainly stays within our noise ordinance.
Mhm.
And will live music be back there? Do you know?
Live music won't be back there. It'll be on the patio.
Oh, on the patio as usual. Okay. Perfect. With that, I'll look for a motion to approve the special event license for Knuckleheads for September 26, 2025.
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion, a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. That will take us to consider approval of park bench donation program for the park board.
Thank you, Mayor. This is coming up from the Park Board. They have been at work revamping the park bench donation program. There was an original one that had existed when I first got here in 2022. It hadn't been really taken advantage of until about 23 when there was questions about it. Donation came in, and at the time it was $500 to go towards the purchase of a bench. I don't think the prices had been updated in quite some time because that didn't come close to covering the cost of the bench. And there was a pre-selected bench design that was already on the books. So we ordered that. That came in, and the materials on that were not what they should be for a memorial bench park program. So but Public Works ended up taking off the boards that were there, redoing it. And then we put a plaque on there as well to bring it up to what we felt was better standard. After we went through that one, we decided we need to do some work to revamp the program to bring it to a much better state. There wasn't a whole lot of documentation I could find on the program either, other than a couple of mentions here and there of the $500 and then figuring out what the former bench was supposed to be. So having gone through that, the park board and I, we've gone through, updated it. We had the program in front of you. Major changes to this: the cost of the donation, or the cost of the bench itself, would be borne by the donor. And then the installation plus concrete, which Public Works would do, would be taken out of the park CIP fund. The minor amount that would be the cost of the concrete. The time is what it is. But with that, we're looking to have pre-selected updated bench. The one we have selected was through Treetop Products, and it'll be this style here. It's a 6-foot variety. It's composite material for the boards. It's a steel, powder coated steel for the remainder, and you can have up to 4 boards worth of lettering. The example here just shows 3. So that spells it out very clearly, and that also puts in their conditions relating to approvals regarding the wording that goes on there and placement within the park system. So they can suggest a place in the park system, but then it'll be up to city staff to give the final approval to make sure it's okay. 99 times out of 100, it's going to be an all right spot. But if we have plans to say redo trails or things like that internally, and they want to put it on a segment that'll get altered or what have you, we can adjust that accordingly in preparation for the future. So with that, any questions, comments, observations I can take on this?
Hearing none, then I'll look for a motion to approve the park bench donation program.
Motion. Second.
We have a motion, a second. Any further discussion?
Looks a lot better of a program.
Yeah,
So we thought too.
I appreciate you taking a look at it and getting it up
Yes,
to where,
thank you.
where it should be. So,
Good intentions. I think it was just something that just wasn't
right.
really
Yeah.
followed through
Right.
on.
We got it cleaned up.
Yeah.
All right. With that, all in favor say aye.
I
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. That will take us to city council reports. Councilmember Helt, anything to report on?
Haven't had any extra meetings. No, nothing.
Councilmember Fausch,
I have nothing.
Councilmember McNeely,
Nope.
Councilmember Jackson.
Everything's been discussed here.
And same with me. I haven't had any new meetings since our last council meeting. Nick, would you like to give a quick update on waste management?
Yes, so prior we had talked about the waste management contract, whether or not we're going to go RFP. The consensus of the council was to remain with waste management, which we have done. The 5-year contract came due here in November. I've been trying to get a hold of them to do a renewal and clean up some of the language that's in there. Nothing major, minor stuff, but so they haven't quite gotten back to me on that. But in lieu of that, the contract that exists does have automatic renewal language in it, so it will auto renew for 1 year until we get a new one negotiated. And as far as price increase, that's locked in at a maximum of 3% increase annually.
Yes, I just noticed mine went up, so
Perfect. Yep. Yeah, it's about
About
that
10.
time. It's about that time now. It should
$9-ish,
be, should be hitting
$10,
us.
something like that.
Perfect. Thank you. And then one other reminder is there's the disc golf course grand opening is Saturday, September 6th. The tournament starts at 10 a.m. and the open house goes from 12:30 until 2:30. So we hope to see everyone there. And with that, I'll look for a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second,
So motion and second. All in favor, say aye.
aye.
Opposed, same sign. We are adjourned. And with that, we will jump right into the work session and call to order. And start with item number 1, discussion on council meeting attendance. And that was my item. I just wanted to kind of give a gentle reminder to the group. Obviously, no one individual. We function as a group. We work as a group. So we're here as a group. Just a little reminder on the importance of being at meetings and you know, we've all signed up for our civic duty, wanted to be here, and every vote we get, we're representing the community and every resident. And, you know, the expectation is we're here to represent them. And I think we could do better at that. Nick, can you pull up from the league? This is right from the league's handbook. Also just stressing,
Happen to recall the page.
no, it's down a ways. It'll second highlighted yellow. You might have just passed
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, there was some-
There were 2 of them. No, one down. I'm sorry. There it is. So as a league, in their handbook too, the most single responsibility as a council member is participation in council meeting. It'd be great to have people here. You know, some of our agendas are light, but either way, if they're light or heavy, I think it's important to be here. You know, not getting into the salary aspect of things. You know, we are getting our salary. It would be, one other thing, collectively as a group, we've had 18 absences in the last 24 meetings in the last year. Little excessive, but in my opinion, but And then the salary aspect of it, we're getting our salary, we're collecting that. We, it'd be similar to missing that many means, similar to working about 32 hours a week and having our employer pay us for a year. So, and again, that's more the minor side of things. I just think that the importance of it is all. So that's all I have with it. Any comments or questions or anyone? And otherwise, we'll just move on. All right, thank you. I appreciate it. Let's go to 2026 budget update and capital improvement plan review.
Thank you, Mayor. I just have some small updates to the budget that I'll go over right here. I adjusted the 2026 budget general property tax number right here, so it balances out the total levy that I show on my levy comparison spreadsheet. So that this figure went up a little bit to zero out when we look at the projection. So right here, we take that, that'll zero it out. So it's a flat levy for next year. So that's just for holding purposes for now. Other things we look at, LGA, we got our final numbers from the state on that, and it went up $74 from the preliminary. So rolling in it now, but now we have the exact figure. On the expense side of things for the general fund, we have the new Minnesota paid leave law, which I've calculated for. So a little bit of an increase in there, about $750 on the withholdings there. This one on the fire protection end of things, we had talked about this at the workshop where we're just going to pay the minimum amount next year rather than having it all paid off now. So that has been readjusted for what the minimum payment will be. Down on highway, streets, and roads, again, a minimal adjustment there for the paid leave law. Then you'll see the same thing again here in Parks and Rec for the new minimum paid leave law. So that's the adjustments on that. On the general fund, on the general fund end of things, on the water end of things, again, paid leave law adjustment, and that's the only one I've got there. On the sewer end, now that we have Greg Fashing hired, I've adjusted that for the new hire, plus having Kyle on as the wastewater interim operator. So I figured that out. Plus with the new paid leave law, I made an adjustment there. And those are the tweaks I have to the budget. Any questions on any of that?
I really appreciate this because it's super easy to understand and see the changes. So
Yep, I highlight them every time we make a change. Everybody's okay with it. If I have another one, all these yellows will go to normal celled, and if there's any future changes, they're all in yellow with explanations on that.
yeah, I just
Oh, that's awesome.
appreciate all that you've taught me for sure on this new budget process. So I really appreciate you and all the time you put into this.
Well, thank you. I love being a good steward of taxpayer dollars. Speaking of, we got the county about this time of year, they get us the 2026 tax base numbers, and we receive those. So for 2026, we've adjusted up 7.766% on our adjusted tax capacity on that. So a little bit of history on mayor's tax capacity on that. Back in this, you go back here and it's like, why the decrease down here? This back in these days, you used to have the homestead credit system versus what's now is the homestead exclusion system. So before, you used to get a check back from the state that they figured at the end of the year. They switched to an exclusion system, so it's automatically deducted out in the value of your home. So if you look at your property tax statement, you'll see that exclusion. That happened around this time period. So a lot of cities, I saw it when I was in my first city, you saw a flip in the tax base there because the exemption came out on the valuation. But since then, you can see we've had steady growth. Some of it due to valuation changes naturally as homes became more expensive, others by construction. And with that, we can extrapolate out our levy and what that has been doing over the last handful of years and predicted what we'll see there. So stability is what we're looking at here going into the future. 2023 being that one fluke year where we levied a little bit extra for the street project, and then we brought it back down again. That's what that was. When we look at tax rate, We can extrapolate that out as well. We're going to sit in that 35, 34-ish% range, roughly, looking at. So name of the game going into the 2030 is about stability. And 2030, but talking 2030, probably looking at a street project in there with a lot of mill and overlay, some reconstruct, and Second and Canary area, some utility work. So we'll see a debt issuance here that'll go on in 31. Once we get closer to that, we'll have a rough idea of what that'll look like. Ballparking it, very horrifically preliminary, 10 to 12% levy increase. We're talking on that. And for comparison purposes, some of the cities around us just this year, I've been hearing anywhere from 6 to 15% increases all around. So a lot of that has to do with timing of things and what have you, but that's sitting on the horizon.
Now, aren't we putting some money away for street projects
Yes, and that is
so that we don't have to bond the whole amount?
And what an excellent segue into our capital improvement plan discussion.
Oh, wow. It's like I knew.
Look at that.
And I didn't.
So getting right into that, our CIP. So we keep CIPs for a handful of things right at the bottom. Fire equipment for the fire department, parks and what they do, streets, and just general fund CIP equipment, building improvements, things of that nature. So it skips right to 405. Yep, that's where I take a look at. So a real high level on this. What we do is we put in the projects that we have that we can foresee on the horizon. And for things like streets, for seal coats, we plan those every 5 to 7 years. For mill and overlays, it's roughly every 20 years. And for reconstruct, it's roughly every 40 years. Now, when we actually get closer to those seal coats at 5 to 7 are pretty predictable. When we get to that mill and overlay and reconstruct area, when we get within 5 years, we're actually going out, observing the pavement on an annual basis. How good did it actually hold up? Because you don't just redo pavement for the fun of it. These are expensive projects we're looking at. So, but you want to get your maximal life out of them before they start to degrade and cause problems with the subgrade and things like that. So when we look at things like street projects and in there, up in the start, we have our start fund balance. This is the money that we have at the start of the year. The money that we levy, and this directly reflects the other spreadsheet we're looking at. So in 2026 at 135. Something new from the state that's come online, it's the transportation assistance account funding. Normally small cities didn't receive this. It was populations 5,000 and over, MSA, municipal state aid dollars. But now they've been allocating funds to the small cities, which I think, I was always an advocate, that should have been happening. So our transportation assistance account for small cities is about 38,000 they've got predicted. This will get updated every year as the state figures their numbers, but this is based off of some sales tax, I believe it was, a wheelage tax that they've got implemented, if I remember correctly. And so 38 is about what we're getting now. We'll adjust those numbers that we get. And then interest income, because we invest these dollars, I've got about a modest 3% return on investment. So if we do better, hey, great. But
Is this 38, the first year we received it?
last year we received a partial, but then the state kicked in money out of their funds to shore up the rest. So this year is the first year we're getting our full amount of it.
Okay.
So we figured it'd be 38, and then they released their numbers for 26, and it'd be about that 38 as well. I don't anticipate this fluctuating wildly on us.
And we don't have years yet for all of these, right?
For
Well, like the mill and overlays.
the ones, so this is where the work, I keep notes on the bottom here. So Morning Drive, second Northwest, Canary, Downtown Alleys, 4th Street Northwest, 7th Northwest. That's all we're looking, including in that 2030 project. And
But yes, we do have a rough plan.
Okay.
Bolton and
Oh, yeah,
Mank-
yeah.
Bolton and Mank has put together a
Okay.
plan for, so yes, we do have, no, it's a working document that's changing, but we have.
Thank you.
Right,
we
'cause
have
that's-
the- we
you're
have
getting
the-
hard in the
We
weeds
have
here.
it built, yeah.
I'm just curious.
Yep. So when we plan seal coat versus mill and overlay, We get those costs projected out going well into the future. Streets are easy to go this out for because we generally have a good idea of what that's looking like.
Right. Okay.
And so for this is a similar theme you'll see with all the CIP. Then we have our ending fund balance down here, which is just our inputs, costs down at the bottom. As long as this figure is staying positive, we're looking good. You see here in 2030, because we're going to have a lot of street project coming in here, starts to dip negative. This is why we talk about bonding for that project, because we can't put enough away
Mm-hmm.
up front to make that happen. But I was talking with Phil just before the meeting here about the 2030-ish street project we're looking at. Heavy planning will go into effect 2029. Phil and I will be talking 28 to make sure numbers are coming in where we need it. And then we'll start with the financing of that. But
And what is that street project?
it's a conglomeration of a lot of, so when I originally started doing this, I saw there was some street work that was going to be done in 29, some in 30, some in 31. So to take advantage of economies of scale, bring those all together
Okay.
to work on that.
But you don't know exactly what those are yet.
Not exactly. We have a very good idea, but we haven't put together the project package yet because we're still 5 years in advance.
Okay. I was just curious.
And keep in mind, these street projects include some of the sidewalks also. As we make the determination, we're going to do bituminous, we'll probably do it with the street project. I assume if we decide to go to concrete, that's going to be a whole nother deal. So some of that's going to fold into this with these projects, which is going to add some cost to it also.
But we really need to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And actually, me and Nick just talked about that the other day about let's get back on these sidewalks and make some decisions. Are we going to go concrete or bituminous? What do we want to do? Get everything the same like we have in the new additions with concrete or what? But we got it. I mean, we're at the point.
Well, we
We've
got to
kicked it
address
down the
some of
can.
the trails.
Right.
The one by the wetland is horrible.
Yep. Absolutely. So, and I didn't mean to hijack or derail this. I
Nope,
just wanted
it's
to
good
make sure
discussion.
we include the sidewalks too.
So for the immediate future, we're looking at 2026. We're looking at seal coating the areas we did in 2023 with Hidden Creek and Shimcor, where we overlaid those. So we'll expect when we come next year, we'll be looking at a project for that. For the other funds, it's very similar. We have the equipment listing. We have the expected life that we plan to get out of it, when those rotations will be, and then again, just projecting that all out into the future. Very common theme. So for 2026, we don't have any CIP plans for the fire department. Parks, we're still working on getting that together. In a nutshell, though, for next year, we're likely looking at picking one of the parks to redo the trails in. And then with the remaining funding, we want to do patching in the worst of the rest of the trails, and then look at replacing park bench, trail benches, I should say. We took a actually closer look at those. A lot of those are starting to delaminate, starting to rust out. They're in far worse condition than we thought, so get those replaced in there as well. And then on general CIP equipment, here it's a whole smattering of things related to general fund, from the gym floor to roofs to public works equipment and mowers and everything in between. And for 2026, looking at swapping out a mower. We're testing a couple of larger mowers right now. So we could see, we'll have a discussion on that change here in the next month or so at a workshop, what we come up with, and then a potential park side by side for 2026. But there we're staying flush as well. So that's a quick look at the CIP, what we got coming up for next year on that front.
Nice.
I like this.
Good.
I like this as well.
Yep, and all these spreadsheets flow into each other because the figures you see levying here, those directly play into what we're sticking up in here,
Yep.
which plays into our total levy. So they all connect together.
What year was that park side by side?
26.
2026.
We had talked about it this year, but with Kyle's departure, we're just going to shove it to next year.
I mean, I like this because then we don't have a lot of, we'll always have some surprises. But
We should be counting for the vast
This sure
majority.
mitigates them,
Yeah.
doesn't it?
yep, so you kind of just have an idea.
Yeah.
And things move around a little bit too.
Yep, they do. I think the big one is making sure we've got the ones here in fire so that we're not taking out equipment bonds. You pay for issuance costs, you pay for an interest on the bond for the life of it, where we can just put the money away and have it when we need to spend it. Like you see right there in 29. Any questions on the CIP?
No.
Sounds good. So that's what I have for the budget update and capital improvement.
Wonderful, thank you. Now we can jump right into the City Hall parking lot project.
So for City Hall parking lot project. So Public Works Committee, city staff, city engineer have been taking a peek at this one. With the splash, well, even without the splash pad, we've had events here where the parking lot fills up and we're parking on Blue Jay Avenue. It's been an off and on minor topic of discussion over the years, but now with the advent of the splash pad, its popularity, we still have the gravel area over here, which has been preserved for this potential project. Now we've got costs coming together so council can get a much better idea of what the investment in this might look like. And if you want to pursue the project, the preliminary plan layout right now, with the layout we have, we get about 48 spaces with the current configuration. The changes we'd be looking at is taking this asphalt out westward, approximately 47 feet. It would marry up with the new trail we have here. We would paint that to delineate that. You can see the stalls here, and changing that configuration. I've got confirmation from the county. They would allow 2 access points in here. So these would be drive-throughs, double lane. So they come in, come around this way. This area remains a drop-off, pickup, dumpster, non-parking type area for maneuvering. We would square up the lot because right now it bends down this way to the existing access. We would square it up so we could get parallel lane or perpendicular lanes here. And then looking at, it says 5 foot, but Public Works discussed it, and we would like to go for a 6-foot sidewalk to connect up with the trail here along the south side. So if anybody's getting out here, they don't have to walk along the parking lot. They can hop on the sidewalk and get in. Or if they're coming along, walking along Blue Jay, then they can come right in here to get to the park system.
What do you put as like the barrier between the trail and those parking spots?
Where the blue line is.
Yeah, that blue line. What would that be?
To start, nothing. The reason why is up on the north side, we already have a similar situation. We have sidewalk up here and we have perpendicular parking spaces. We've never had issue with anybody over parking into the sidewalk. Everybody's been very, very good at it. So we'd like to take that, continue that here since we're not seeing a problem. If we do see a problem, we can get those, you see them out in front of Brad Claus's, the stoppers there. We can always put those in.
I think the people are very understanding it's cement and tar, so they see the change. I know there'll be like a white line.
Mhm.
I'm just thinking that maybe it might, if you go 6 feet, even if the bumper of a car goes over the line. I'm a little nervous about that, but I guess you just have to put it in and see what happens and then have contingency plans in place on how
Is it
people park.
more that someone pulls too far and
Yeah.
they're blocking it, not
Yeah.
hitting someone. right?
Correct,
So, yeah.
correct.
I think that's a good point. I mean, the only other thing would be a post, right? But putting
Yeah.
a post in everyone would be pretty
No.
spendy. So I think if it becomes an issue, we could put those.
They're just rubber, aren't they?
Composite
rubber,
material,
cement.
rubber.
You can get rubber ones or
Concrete.
ones.
Some of the reason why when we first
Really?
discussed it is see how it goes, but that's a nice path
really?
for us to plow.
Yeah, and then the
push
plow
snow
can
and not have
pass.
to go over those things. So that was our
Are they
initial
more
thoughts to
expensive?
push the snow,
Yeah, and
away. But
And that's not a bad, I was just, that was the only thing that was concerning to me was that because it is a sidewalk and people aren't going to pull.
Yeah.
And they know, I don't know, people
Yep.
might not realize, especially in the winter, if it's covered in snow, they might not realize the trail is there and pull forward.
Yep. The good part is if it becomes an issue, you can install those stoppers
Yeah.
after the fact.
And I don't know, would it make any sense to stripe it yellow, kind of go, put a stripe down where people would kind of stop as they won't be able to see it, but we could always add the yellow stripe there, right?
Well, I think you need to have some sort of stripe. But I'm just saying, like, in the winter, when you go to a parking lot in the winter,
Oh, yeah.
you don't see the lines anymore.
Well, in the winter, we shouldn't have, we'll have for events, I suppose.
But
not
but
a
people still go on
ton.
the trail. I just want to make sure that we have like a contingency, like we're going to monitor that
Mhm.
Well,
to
yeah,
make sure
let's
that
keep an eye
your
on it.
people aren't impeding on that. Because I don't walk as much in the winter, but I do.
Right.
And I would just want to make sure that people aren't parking on the trail.
Yep,
Yes.
yep, agreed.
Mhm.
For getting complaints about people over parking, that's when we'd spend the money. That's not a lot of money to get concrete stoppers. You're probably talking a couple grand.
I just think that
Concrete stoppers,
it could
put
get
'em
a little
in.
confusing for people, especially like during a big event that they're having and people are walking. And then if you have snow piled, then you really have nowhere to walk but into the parking lot.
And just for reference, that sidewalk goes almost right up to the light that's out there on the far side.
Okay.
Just within a couple inches.
Mhm.
And then my only concern, and we talked about it a little bit, Nick, is just these 4 right along the curb. Just seems odd to me that someone right here might be backing out and not see someone pulling it, right by the entrances, along with we're right on the curb. And if someone comes in and tries to make this turn and overshoots a little bit and then their wheel goes up, I'm a little concerned with that. But to Nick's point, if it becomes an issue, we can always put cross ones in there and take those sites off too.
Mhm.
It just doesn't seem right backing out right where an entrance is.
It's going to
that
take
close,
people,
that parallel right to the road seems odd.
it's going to take a little bit because people,
Yeah.
And I think for the most part, people are good drivers, but we have some, I think they're going to go off the curb.
well, I mean, people aren't going to realize, especially when we move the entrances and now we're parking the opposite direction, there's going to be a little bit of learning.
Yeah.
Are we doing new curb? Like, because isn't it a pretty shallow curb right now?
The
Like,
two act,
it kind of looks like you could exit anywhere.
no, so
What's a
right
full
now,
It's a
this,
full curb.
this is all B, this is all B style curb, so
Yeah,
it's
I'm
flat
just saying
back.
it looks
You do surmountable here and surmountable here.
Yeah.
The rest would stay B style.
Should a person consider on that southern edge there, instead of the concrete parking barriers, like signs perhaps to make plowing easier? I mean, it would just
You're
say
gonna
like
hit a
city
sign.
hall parking, but it'd be a post in front of each spot. You could only pull so far forward, so you'd never be in the spot and it'd be easier to plow. That's what I'm saying. Instead of busting up concrete berms or concrete stoppers. And I
Yeah.
would imagine they'd be fairly cheap to install.
Yeah, we just have to drive them into the asphalt.
Right. It's just a thought. I'm thinking of plowing
I
too.
think from an aesthetics to have a sign in front of each one of these will look odd.
It probably will, but I was trying to think of clearing snow because we don't really have them anyplace else.
I think the thrust is we do have options.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how many extra how many more parking spots will this have?
This current configuration takes it from 48 to 78.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
That don't seem like that much just staring at it, does it?
We're going to have like signs, new parking configuration, kind of like when there's like a new change in your traffic.
Right.
Like if there's a stop sign and not there wasn't before, or they like
Yeah.
change and, because I think, people are going to come in and be like, where's the entrance?
They'll see all the new painted lines and stuff. now,
Yeah.
too, I think.
Yeah.
It'll
It'll
pretty
just be kind of
obvious.
funny. Well, it'll be just funny. People are like, "Whoa, this looks different."
And do we still feel 1 handicap up here is appropriate and 2 down here?
Looks like there's 2 up
Two
there
up there.
and 1 down.
Where's the other one?
And there's
They're
another
right
one
next
up
to
there.
each other.
Oh, these 2.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I
They,
was
s-
just looking at
they
the.
share
Yeah.
the same
Yeah,
berth
yeah,
in
yeah.
the middle. And actually, this one up here, we're going to move to this one where it's right next to this berth.
Right.
Yep.
That makes way more
Makes,
sense.
yep, I
Makes
was
sense.
thinking the same thing before.
Because you need that, don't you, for handicap? Because you need that extra space for people to,
For this configuration,
out
we're
and-
required to have 4.
right.
There's
But the extra berth, like, isn't that, because,
van accessible. one.
yeah, the
Van
van, so
accessible.
that you can get
Mhm.
out.
Then also not shown on here, right about here to there, we're gonna put in a 6-foot sidewalk as
Mm.
well. Because people aren't gonna get out of their car here, walk all the way down here, go here to come back up.
Mm.
They're
No.
gonna cross right over.
Yep.
So let's put a sidewalk there.
Yeah.
Because we know
Makes
they're gonna
sense
do
to
it.
me.
I think a lot of people are using I mean, whenever time I walk by, if it's a nice day,
Mhm.
there's cars there. People are driving to come here.
Mhm.
So that's the proposed project. It would cost approximately $70,000. I've received concrete quotes for the work on their striping so we would also do crack filling of the existing lot to get that in good order. So crack filling, striping, concrete work, and then we're estimating about 36,000 with new asphalt. With a little bit of engineering on top. Thankfully, all of this right here, this is compact gravel. We did some potholing there when we had a skid steer out there, and the front wheels of the skid steer were coming off the ground because they were trying to dig into it. And it went down about 12, 14 inches. So it'll be a good base to just put asphalt right over the top.
And then on the addition, once we get in, a couple years down the road, when it's time to do a seal coat or take care of it, I assume the main parking lot will hold up long enough so we can then get everything done at once and getting that, so we're not split on things.
Yep. Main parking lot has held up. It has cracks, but all asphalt does. But we're not seeing the alligatoring or anything
Crack
like
sealing
that.
will take care of what we have.
It's
So we're only
holding up
looking at a
well.
couple years, right? I mean, the
Yeah, it's
addition
about-
part would get seal coated after a couple years.
Yep.
Perfect.
What we do is restripe and then we'd probably seal coat the entire thing.
That's what, perfect.
So with this is not a done deal project. This is a proposal that we're putting forth for council to consider. It would cost about $70,000 to complete. We'd be looking at doing it yet this fall. It would come out of the streets fund, and which has a current end of year expected fund balance without this project would be $270,000. So it'd keep it in that 200 range. So it'd still be well funded.
I just want to, like I said, I just want to put a little more thought into these. As they back out, even when they're sitting and then back out, the way they turn their wheel to come out, it could go off, it could go off the curb as they're trying to back here. Like these spots up here, when these are,
Do you just,
they have the freedom to back all the way out and then go, it
but
wasn't
do you
really a
just put
concern.
drive up curb the whole length?
Pardon?
Do you just put drive up curb? the
I
whole
don't know
length?
if we'd put surmountable curb the whole way, but
No, you wouldn't want
No.
people to drive up in the
yeah, I
middle.
don't think I would
there.
want that either.
It would negate the falling off.
Right. And maybe it won't be an issue. I just want to think it through and
There's one
Phil,
currently, right?
you have probably more expertise on that. I mean,
Just on this.
Yeah, has that been an
It can
issue?
go either way.
yeah,
with it.
I mean,
I see your point. I mean, we looked at it and we talked about it and we felt,
yeah,
yeah, if you can go straight back out, then it is, but are you always gonna get that person who pays attention? and
Right.
They turn their wheel and then drive off. So
yeah. No,
Not like you're falling 20 inches.
well, no, not by any means, but
Not gonna rock out, bottom out your car or
Yeah.
anything.
I've seen other parking lots with that right at the edge.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean
Yeah.
it can't be.
or if someone
off.
someone cuts it close and is a little too close to the to the curb, do they open the door and step out and hit the tumble down? But
That I'd be more worried about.
Yeah.
Forget there's a step there.
I mean, we have time to think about it. It's just kind of been bothering me for a while, but I like the 4 additional spaces, but
We
But
could
we
always just
currently
put like
have
yellow
one spot
lines on it. if
Yeah.
On the
doesn't
edge,
work.
right?
yeah, we
Has
do
there been an issue
right up
there?
here. We have
Has there been any issues
not
there?
not that I'm aware of, no.
And
but-
that one's really sloped.
And that
Yeah,
one,
Right,
so-
yeah.
I mean, like you
That
could
one-
literally fall out the
that one's
door if
empty
you
a lot
open it.
though on big events. That one stays empty a lot because of how that one sucks.
You open your door, you're
Yeah.
going.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the passenger is. But, okay, yeah, that's all I had. I mean, otherwise, I think it looks great. I appreciate all the work.
Or you could vacate that one so that somebody could just back up into that spot and out. Since it is such a goofy angle, you could
Yeah.
just hash mark it out.
But I suppose we can always hash mark them if it does become a
Yeah.
problem, right?
Yep.
Yep.
You can always
You know,
close them off with
yeah.
paint.
I
Hash
think
mark
we
'em
move
out.
forward and decide. I mean, there's time to decide. It still has to get striped and all that.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
Perfect. No, I think it's a great plan.
So with that, it's council desire. I have quotes. We can bring some, Phil and I can bring something together at the next council meeting on September 8th, if you so desire.
Would the
Sounds
plan
good to
still
me.
be to get it done this year or
Yes.
is this
Yes.
for early next year?
This year.
This year?
I like it. I think it, going into winter, you know, with all the events too that are, if we can.
And we're ready to go next spring for everything.
Perfect. Yep, I'm aligned. Looks good.
All right. Thank you.
Yep, thank you. With that, we will adjourn. Thank you.
I realized my microphone was on, sorry guys. Sorry, Jeff.